I guess that's better. Well, y'all are doing the same thing as you did yesterday. I didn't make a video for y'all. So it says that C is specific heat in joules per kilogram times degree Celsius. You can also have specific heat in calories per kilogram times degree Celsius, or calories per gram times degree Celsius, or joules per gram times degree Celsius. So if you have both kilograms, or if it gives you grams, you don't have to convert it to kilograms necessarily. You can just use the grams, and if it's asking for specific heat, it'll just end up in whatever energy you're using per gram times degree Celsius. Specific heat is right. Specific heat is how much energy it takes to heat up 1 kilogram of a substance, or 1 gram of a substance, depending on what unit you're using. So, like water has a really high specific heat. You know how you have to put water on the stove for a long time before it'll boil? That's because you have to add a lot of energy to water for it to increase its temperature enough to get to its boiling point. The reason for that is that water's molecular structure, its molecular bonds require a lot of energy to be broken. So that's why it has a higher boiling point, because you have to put a lot of energy into that water in order for the molecules to be moving around enough to break those, to break the bonds, because the bonds have a really high energy. They're bonded really, really good to each other. Now, so what I did just then, like this might be like room temperature water. My little hands here are trying to show the the molecules vibrating around. So they start to vibrate more if the temperature increases. So like hot water is doing this. This has a name. It's called kinetic theory. So the higher the temperature is, the more the molecules are moving around. And it's called a theory. I'm pretty sure that we're pretty sure about it, but kind of like gravity. We don't know a lot about how gravity works. That's still a theory too. Another thing this thing mentions today is entropy. Entropy can be a little more complicated, but in general it means disorganization. So if you think of like a clean room, that has very low entropy because everything is organized nice and neat. If it gets messed up, then its entropy increased. So that means that cold stuff that's not moving very much with its molecules, they're not vibrating very much, when they heat up, that's higher entropy, because this is a lot more disorganized than it was when it was cold. And it's going to ask you questions, make you think about using that definition of entropy to answer a question. And it's going to ask you to draw a picture of conduction, convection, and radiation. And I can give you a notebook if you need paper for that. Or you can use an app for that also. Any questions about this Thermo 1 stuff? All right, please start that assignment that says Thermo 1. I've got this on the board so y'all can see the formulation stuff.